look like we're on Tiger King with these outfits. Hey y'all.
What's up?
Welcome to the vlog.
I don't feel like I can be loud.
Cast.
Vlogcast, it's nap time.
And we just picked a different spot today. Usually if they're napping, we're back in our bedroom where they can't hear us, but we just wanted to try out our new setting. If you didn't see our last video, we talked about doing a little bit of redesign in the house and how we were trying to cozy up some things. Some of that started due to kind of trying to decide what else to do to help sell the house.
Good segue.
But, thanks. I've been doing this for a while. Some of it started because once I don't know. Okay, here we go. This is where I don't get good at segues because we'll just tell them the whole story. Okay, we had to make some hard decisions. So y'all have heard us mention in a couple of the previous vlogs about a little bit of anxiety about people coming into our house and touching all of our doorknobs and things while the coronavirus is going around. Just being super duper careful and like your safe places at home. And that didn't feel like a safe place after people had come through, and I was like, well, what if they like touch this or that or our kitchen sink to see if the water worked? And it's a little bit anxiety provoking. So
prior to that, the anxiety was provoked anyway, just because we had so many showings, literally 20, 30 in 30 days.
Yes, 30 showings I think was the total. 29. We had 29 actually scheduled showings since we listed our house January like 17th, I think it was. I don't know, middle of January. And then we had also had three open houses? Two open houses. Where, you know, 5, 6, 7, however many families came through. So that's probably 40 probably families at the minimum that have come through our house. And if you've ever tried to sell a house or know anything about selling houses, that's not really a common thing to have that many people come through and not have sold your house.
Yeah, not have sold your house.
Prior
to this virus.
Yes, prior to all the virus and everything else. So we had mentioned to y'all, there's something we haven't told you.
Well,
It was kind of, yeah. Well, you said
you went to a Catholic high school.
Okay, so there's something we haven't told y'all. Several of y'all, as we were talking about not having sold our house, were like, you have to get the Joseph statue and bury it in your yard because that's a big thing and that's what you do. And I know all these people that did it in their household like that. Okay, so we were like, you know, I mean, I believe that the point behind Joseph is like burying St. Joseph in the yard is the faith, the measure of faith. And up until that point, I guess, in our house selling process, there were multiple times when I was like, okay, you know, give it to the Lord. He's going to do it one way or the other, whatever your will, let's have it happen. But we were like, let's just be open with everybody about this and like ask for prayer. I think even in that video, I was like, I don't even feel comfortable saying like, dear God, please help us sell our house. Because I was like, if that's not God's will, then I don't want to force it. And then we're in another bad situation that wouldn't be right. So many people were like, get this little St. Joseph and do the thing. So we all had like a night of prayer with multiple people in the YouTube world and everything.
8 p.m. Central.
8 p.m. Central.
Go watch the video. It's right
here. Yeah, okay. Not at all in a way of that didn't work. But this whole like Joseph thing was on my mind this whole time. It was a $6 statue on Amazon. And I want to say I remember there being, I don't remember the exact turn of events, but there was something that happened really frustrating a couple days, or the day after the prayer thing happened. That's when the almost break-in. It was literally the night of the prayer vigil around the world that we thought somebody had broken into our house. If you haven't heard that story, go watch that. we told the whole story. It was incredibly scary, and I still have a little bit of trauma from that. And I was just like, screw it. I'm pulling out all the stops. Like, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, we've got to get our house sold and just get settled. Like, I'm tired of feeling upturned, my kids upturned. We've got like, I don't even care. Let's just do whatever we can do. So I was like, do you care if I order the statue? And Cullen was like, I mean,
after that night and after everything else, I was like, I don't care anymore. And
so I was like, okay, I'm adding it to the cart on Amazon. And then a day went by and he was like, is that statue supposed to come today? I was like, oh, I never ordered it. And so then I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna order it. I think I was up in the kids' room. We were like helping give them baths, and I was sitting in the chair in Brooks's room, and I was like, order, done, okay, it's coming. It was the same week that Gaines ended up coming home and having the flu. So she was home. He had had some type of other frustrating thing.
It'd been 2 weeks at that point since we, or
a week and a half. It had rained like every day for like 2 weeks.
We had all these showings, and then we didn't have any for 2 weeks.
Yes, no showings for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, like a fan went out on the porch and wasn't working, and something, I don't even remember I should have written this all down at the time. We were like, whatever, we haven't had any showings in 2 weeks. We're probably like bottomed out now. We're gonna need to drop the price again, which I think we did drop the price and still didn't get any more showing. And so we were like, screw it all. Let's just start working on these projects. So we got up on a ladder, started repairing the fan and all this. I get a notification in the front yard that the mailman's stopping at the mailbox. 10 minutes later, we got a request for a showing. And
I hadn't even buried the thing.
I hadn't even buried Joseph.
It was like
came in our mailbox.
Back-to-back notifications. I was up on the ladder. There's a video of me changing out the fan in there.
Screenshotted like when the mailman was at our mailbox and when we got this notification. But at that time we were so just frustrated and over it all. I was like, whatever, I'm not even thinking halfway about this showing. Like, just get the ladder cleaned up. Let's get
our first one in 2 weeks.
First one in 2 weeks. Our kid is home with the flu. It had also been 2 weeks, so things were kind of a mess.
Yeah.
We had been working. We had stuff all over the counters and whatever. I was like, you know what? Let me just check and see if that was Joseph that got delivered. Lo and behold, it was. And I was like, all right, we're just gonna bury this thing. Let's run down there before the showing and bury this dang Joseph statue. I had a better attitude about that, and we said a prayer and everything was nice. I think we actually have footage of it.
We have footage. I'll throw that in here.
Okay.
All right, we decided to do it. So here is Joseph. Here's the prayer and the instructions.
Jesus.
Is Joseph, is Jesus' father. Daddy better come with a shovel. All right, there comes Daddy with the shovel. Let's see what we're gonna do here.
He does not want to be stuck in the ground.
Let's do this fast so nobody thinks we're like burying a, who knows.
How far down does he have to go?
I mean, I don't think too far.
6 feet?
No, I don't think so. So he's smaller than I expected. He's like the size of my hand. And you're supposed to bury him upside down.
Upside down?
Facing the house. All right, Joseph.
Bye-bye.
Do your job. Okay, so this is what we're supposed to...
Hi.
This is what we're supposed to say. Here's the prayer. Dear Saint Joseph, head of the most perfect household, foster father of Jesus and guardian of his mother Mary, I confidently place myself and all my concerns under your care and protection. I ask that your powerful intercession with God, you obtain for me all the help and graces that I need for my spiritual and temporal welfare, and in particular the special favor I now ask is the selling of our home. Good Saint Joseph, I know with confidence that your prayer on my behalf will be heard by God, and if it is his will, it will be done. Thank you, Saint Joseph, for having responded to my call. Amen.
Amen. Let's go,
All right.
St. Joe.
You got this, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Mommy,
Yes.
what if we forget the spot?
We won't. It's right by our for sale sign.
We'll be digging up this hole
Right there.
front yard.
I know, right? Okay.
Again, trusting in faith, not in the fact that some statue is going to bring us like anything, but it's just the faith practice. You can think what you want to about it, but if you're Catholic, and we had several people comment about the true meaning behind all of it, it's kind of a symbol of faith. Buried the statue, ran out the door, then heard back that these people were actually genuinely like really interested in our
I
house.
wanted to come see it for the
We're planning to come and see it again.
first time or second
It's
time?
the first people.
First people,
Well, other than we did have a contract on the house back in the fall. Okay, so this is since relisting, this is the only people after we'd had at that point maybe 15 showings, something like that had requested to come, or were going to request to come back a second time, and we were like, okay.
This is weird.
Still not getting my hopes up. Like, this is weird.
I still was just like, whatever.
No.
I'm not even gonna think about this. I'm not gonna say anything about this.
No, we had
this can't be.
No. We were like, whatever. We're just gonna ride the wagon. Just ride the wagon. Okay, so they came back for their second showing, and based on some things, which we've talked about this before, they had some updates that they wanted to do. Of course, they didn't expect us to cover like updates and things that they wanted to do, but they were like, you know, given the things that we want to update, we don't want to spend that amount of money on the house, so our offer would be really low. And our agent told us that, and we were like, whatever, just tell us what it is.
At this point,
we'll see if we can make it work.
Don't even write it up. Just like
I don't
text
even care
it to
if it's $500, like it's $200.
Yeah.
Just tell us what it is. But they basically, you know, told us what any contingencies would be. They would be able to close by April 1st. And because the offer was so low, they would accept the house as is, blah, blah, blah.
She happened to be an agent, so no agent fees would be involved as far as that goes.
Right.
And she was an agent looking for herself. It was crazy.
There were just a lot of things that were gonna be, we were like, okay, well, I mean, this is kind of like best case scenario, because we could have an inspection. Not that we expect anything to be wrong, but if you've ever sold a house, there's gonna be some random like light fixture that doesn't work, or some, you know, something. But we like looked at all the numbers, tried to make it work, talked to the mortgage company, and it was too low. Like, it wasn't gonna pay off our mortgage, even with all the other stuff going on. And this isn't even the offer we told y'all about that one video.
No.
This isn't even that one. So we were like, dang it. Like, I guess it's not gonna work. So we just were like, oh well, you know, whatever. But still, this was the closest we had gotten at this point.
And like 10 minutes after the thing arrived. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think we had any other showings for like a week or so. And then we had another random requested showing. It all kind of runs together at this point.
Yeah.
But regardless, the next people that came made an offer on the house.
Yeah.
And that's the offer we told you guys about, which was still low, but it was higher than the previous offer that we had gotten. As we explained in that video, go watch that video if you want to watch it. It was going to leave us like $20,000 short for paying off our mortgage and paying like agent commission and all of that stuff. We tried to get like a personal loan just to cover that, to end up whatever matched up. That got declined, and in that process I was like, this is the way that we can see God's plan for, he's in control. Basically, if this gets turned down and there's no way we can do it, we're doing the best we can.
They requested a third showing though,
They requested a third showing.
They had family come over to try to help with the whole process.
To like have somebody help them with their down payment to be able to raise the price up so we could find a way to make it work. This was over like a 2-week period back and forth with the showings, and maybe 1 or 2 other showings in between that weren't the people.
Well, and then there was another showing in between that, and they are local in the area and were seriously interested and requested a second showing.
So at this point, we've had these
like
3 people that we had never had any second requested showings at this point. So then this third family comes in while we still have this offer on the table from the low offer that we weren't sure if they were going to get family to help or whatever. The third family that was truly interested came back for their second showing.
And at this point, coronavirus outbreak has taken on.
It was right when school had gotten canceled, like the weekend of the beginning of the quarantine. And so we were already kind of panicked about that. I think we had 2 other showings in there that were just like literally people that were like, they came in and were here for like 10 minutes and then weren't interested. The second family with the offer that was going to get some family members to help, they had a written up offer. Like it was an actual like, had we signed it, it would have been sold. It wasn't going to work out with the family members helping them. So that fell through.
And we weren't trying to like, I think we explained all this in that one video.
Like we weren't trying to be jerks.
We were just like literally, we're not trying to make any money on this.
We tried to make it work where we would literally still owe $20,000 to a personal loan, and that still didn't get approved. Like we literally did everything we could.
And they were closing on April 10th or something on their house?
No, it was March 30th, 31st.
Yeah, March 31st.
So we would have been closing, today.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. We would have been moving out today. Then there's this, the third family now that's looking. And so that's right when the coronavirus stuff happened. They came back for their second showing.
We left gloves out.
We left gloves and hand sanitizer. We didn't touch anything. We didn't say that. But then it turned out that they wanted to come back for a third showing again to bring another family member just to kind of, you want to like take your family, see the house. You're making a big decision.
We brought your mom.
We brought our parents to see the house. That showing got canceled because the family member was coming from out of town, and due to the corona stuff, they were going to try to reschedule it. So in this time period, we're like going, what is supposed to be happening here? Like what is going on? As this is all happening, somehow in some place in our hearts, we like genuinely start loving our house. And I was like, stop it, somebody buy it right now. Because as we're like changing things around and realizing, I guess too, being home with the quarantine.
Just getting it cozy.
The kids being here.
Seeing the kids and that's another thing we need to probably touch on is during all this, going back to the whole anxiety topic as far as the kids go and the uncertainty that they had. There was many times where Gaines and Brooks would both make comments in passing about
when it wasn't a topic of conversation.
It wasn't a topic. I was sitting out on the porch one morning with Gaines, and she was like, out of nowhere, we were just sitting there playing with something, and she said, when we move to our next house, our new house, can you promise me that we'll never move again?
Or can we after we sell this house, can we just never sell a house again?
And I was like, oh, that just hurt my heart. You
'Cause I know how she
because
feels.
like she's just being uplifted, and her dog, like every day, literally every day there was a showing every single afternoon for a week straight or 2 weeks. I don't know. It was just
and just
nonstop.
the uncertainty for us was the same as them. Like Brooks would randomly ask, when we move, are we going to get to take our beds with us? Do we get to take
He was looking
pictures?
around the room. He's like, can I take that doorknob with me?
Like no. And we had finally gotten to a point where we had told them, like, if it's not attached, we're taking it, basically. And so they kind of knew that. And so they would ask about random things as they would think of it. We tried to keep them out of it as much.
Yeah.
Like we didn't tell them a whole lot. When there were times that we had to be consumed with like figuring out a contract or figuring out numbers, we'd be like, there's somebody really interested in buying our house, so we're trying to, yada yada. Then of course back around Thanksgiving, Christmas, we were like, these people are buying our house. We're gonna be moving. Here's where we're gonna move to. Like, I mean, they've been on this roller coaster with us.
All their stuff's
on a
gone
small
out of their
level.
room until recently. We put some of their pictures back in there, and
We've had
like,
everything super duper.
the more that they've gotten used to everything being here, just they'll go outside and be playing. They'll go downstairs and be playing. They'll go upstairs and be playing by themselves. It's just like they've gotten so much more comfortable
with the house.
Yeah.
And then they were so excited about moving originally. And then like suddenly Gaines had a change of heart, I guess maybe a month or so ago too. And it was just like, I don't want to leave this house. This is the most beautiful house I've ever seen. And I was like, that's a random thing for a 5-year-old to say. When she had previously been excited and was like all about it. As this is all going down, these are kind of our emotions. Like it was I posted a couple things about like just being home during the quarantine, realizing where we kind of wanted to be, where we would be if we had moved. What if in the middle of this quarantine, these people did come back for a third showing, decided to actually buy our house, and then nothing is stable right now in the world. Our kids have lost school, they've lost their sports, they've lost contact with all their friends, their teachers, their family members. And it's like, what if all of a sudden we also end up going, oh, guess what? Now we're actually moving, so we're gonna pack up all your stuff and things are gonna be extra hectic while they're already hectic.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, I don't know.
You don't know, and then the numbers are doubling in the cases every single day at this point.
The
and
coronavirus.
The coronavirus cases, and then like, I don't want people touching my stuff. Like, as weird as that sounds, like even we were like texting our realtor and we're like, this is like the weirdest scenario to even like talk about. Like, they were offering virtual tours. We were gonna make one. Yeah, we were gonna make a virtual tour. They still offer virtual tours.
Yeah, and our realtors were offering virtual tours. I saw them post today. They did a virtual closing, like through Zoom, with nobody having to touch anything.
So there are like.
So there were ways around
stuff,
that, and so we were thinking about it. We were like, okay, well, there's ways around that. So like we could still do this, and this has the potential to be like the final thing.
What if we move and then in the moving process in the next 2 weeks or a week or or whatever? Say it was if we had closed today, for instance, or whatever, just contacted Corona somehow, like the coronavirus, through all that, and then you're in a new place. Then you have to be quarantined for 14 days. It was just
Think
like
about when you're
so
moving,
much going on.
The number of places that you need to go, like you got to get moving boxes moving, which we have most of the supplies and all that stuff, but you end up needing like more trash bags or more takeout food or whatever else. Like you just end up needing to go and do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
You've got inspectors that have to come inspect your house. You've got like appraisals and all kinds of stuff going on. After what was it, the second showing, and then we had the third one and then it was canceled, I was like, I'm just like already super emotionally drained by this Corona situation. Was already kind of emotionally drained by the house selling situation, but had come to terms with everything. And then it was like throwing the coronavirus and the quarantine on top of that. I was like, I literally like mentally can't handle this. Like, this is not good for my mental health right now.
Spray, I mean, every doorknob, every faucet, everything we were spraying off after each show.
Well, and just the uncertainty of like knowing, like, so everybody's hunkering down for like the next 2 months, but are we? Like, is it okay if we're like, should we be packing our stuff because we might be moving in a month?
And what if we do get a rental and then that gets, like, there's people that are like out of, like people that are renting places that are getting kicked out of their rental homes right now.
And just not knowing any of it. It was all the emotional side of it. We were just like, this is crazy. And there's, 3 people that we've had offers on the house, and then, but yet there's been, 4, I guess, if you count the fact that it was under contract back in the fall. And then these roadblocks come that just keep us from being able to like close it out, not based on any fault of our own, until this final time when we were just like, I just couldn't emotionally handle it. Like, it was draining me. I wasn't able to be there mentally for my kids and my family, and the uncertainty and instability on top of the fear and uncertainty of this virus. I was just like, this is the perfect time to take it off the market so that it can have time to reset in the system. So we talked to our realtor about that, and he was like, well, it's gone from, or the rules changed from it being 30 days off to having to be 60 days off the market. And so at first we were like, well, never mind. Because we thought, you know, this corona stuff would all be over within 30 days. Now it's looking like longer. So we said, okay, maybe we should just take it off the market. So we started kind of like bringing out rugs, and y'all saw the stuff we were doing to kind of make it feel a little bit more livable for us while we're knowing we're gonna be here for a couple months. We said, let's just do it. Let's just take it off the market and see where things go. You know, financially, as far as like our current status, that we would be able to pay our mortgage for April and for May. We also know that given the corona stuff, we have no idea where finances are gonna go. We actually talked to our mortgage company, and they were explaining to us how their understanding of people that are losing income due to this. And we were like, if any time there's the best scenario possible right now for us to be able to have the 60 days to reset things on the market, do some cozying up like we've talked about, not have to worry because we know we have at least 2 months of our mortgage covered. We probably will be okay after that. But
well, just in the whole internal struggle of all this, of knowing that the offers have gotten increasingly better, the offers have gotten increasingly more in general. Like, we've had 3 or 4, like you said, 3 in the past however long, and then knowing that the season's coming, or is it? That's the whole thing. Like, the busy season of house buying, is that even gonna, like, everything? And our realtor keeps saying like it's not affected anything as far as the market goes, and this, that, and the other.
And the market always bounces back.
Yeah, I mean it's
fine,
but I think right now, I think we made the best decision to do that mentally, if anything.
To take it off,
For our kids being home and not having, you know, they're already everything's just so chaotic right now in life. I mean, we're having to like wear gloves and masks to leave the house. I mean, it's just crazy. So it's
really an interesting thing, because as we keep having these roadblocks, and every time anything happens in life right now, I'm like, I try to not say like, why does this keep happening, but say like, what am I supposed to be learning from this? And so I feel like with each step and each offer and each different situation, we've learned something new. And then so many people have even said, and we've thought too, like, is there a reason it's not selling? Like, are we supposed to stay here? Because I don't know, it's just weird the way we've seen the house in the past month in ways that we kind of saw it originally.
I love the house. I mean, I've fallen, you should have seen the first videos we made. If you haven't, go check them out. But I was dog cussing this house. I was wanting to like throw it out on the street if I could. But like, now, send that positive energy, like y'all said, put the positive energy into the house, you start to fall in love with it again. And now I've like, seeing the kids fall in love with it is what's crazy too. I still think it's too big, obviously, as far as like practical structure. Like, we don't need a big house like this. Like, but that house in general and the emotional attachment we've got to it is totally different now.
Yeah, the emotional attachment is definitely different. I think I was even more pissed at the house originally too, because of the terrible times we went through in like 2017, 18.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we've actually finally made some good, positive, happy memories here, and have gone through like a total life transformation in this house. Aside from like it being too much space, or more space than we need, during this quarantine time, we've been incredibly thankful for the space.
Yes.
Like, especially with like Brooks and all his energy and like,
oh my gosh,
needs to just like jump and do and ball pit and whatever else.
And pee on the wall outside. We were saying the other day, he'll pull his pants down and just, I will too. And I'm like, I couldn't do this in one of those little tiny cookie cutter neighborhoods.
You know, it's really made us just think about like, where does God want us to be? Where are we supposed to be? Where are we best gonna live out our purpose in life, and our purpose for our job, for our business, being able to take away this massive emotional stressor at this time, focus on our kids and their mental health while we're going through this quarantine stuff, and focus on our job and being able to put out better content, or whatever. It may not be better, but being able to focus on all of that.
We need to tell the kids. We need to tell the kids that we've taken it off the market. I don't know if they'll understand that or anything.
They will. I hope we say it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I think we're going to stay here for the next couple of months and see
at
how
least
it all.
for 2 months.
2 months. See
so
how
let
it
the
plays
60
out.
days reset.
And then go from there. But I think we made the right decision right now, especially with everything.
I know we did.
Being
This is
so
the
uncertain.
most peace I've felt
Yes,
about anything.
it was like when we sent the
whole time.
text, we were like, I could just feel the weight off of our
Yes.
shoulders and our kids and
Yes.
it's been just
We've learned to feel
glorious.
so many things, but
Yeah.
it's a huge amount of peace. And I feel like it's right.
I don't want to stop. I want to keep making it cozy.
No, me
This
either.
is good.
That's the thing, is I'm like, suddenly I feel like I have like pride in it.
I know.
I feel like I know every inch of this house. And when we started getting it ready to sell, I was like, oh, I didn't realize we had this room. I didn't realize this side of the driveway existed. We don't know what's gonna happen after that, but as of now, for the next at least 2 months, our house is off the market.
Hard decision to make. But
It was a really hard
glad
decision to make.
we made it.
After all the efforts we've made, our realtors have made. Thank you all so much for your support through all of this over the past almost year.
Do we leave that thing in the yard, or do we go dig it up?
I say we pick Joseph up out of the ground and come wash him off and put him by our sink and look at him every day, because he did his best.
I mean, literally, that was the most action we've gotten.
He did his best to do
The day
his job.
it was delivered. Insane. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the love and support, and go check out the new podcast. It's up, Tiger King in the house, and we will see you at TFS. Catch you on the flip side.
Bye.